Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our council meeting, June 28th, 2022. And I'll take a motion, please, from Councillor Lane and Councillor Fry for the agenda. There is nothing outside the kit. And I'll call the question. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? And our agenda is set for the evening. But first, I'll start with the lands acknowledgement, please. We begin today's public council meeting by respectfully acknowledging the province of Newfoundland and Labrador as the ancestral homelands of many diverse populations of Indigenous peoples, including the Beothuk, who have contributed to 9,000 years of history on the island of Newfoundland. Today, this province is home to diverse populations of Indigenous and other people. We acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit. We honor this beautiful land, and together we strive for collective healing and true reconciliation. Council, before you, you have the council meeting notes or minutes, I should say, from June 14th, 2022. And I'd like to get a motion to, first of all, tell me if we do the motion, who's got any issues with the minutes? Thank you. Hearing no corrections or questions, I'll call the question. The motion's by Councillor Locke and Deputy Mayor Kiley, and I'll call the question. All in favor? Aye. And those opposed? And that motion's carried. Business arising, Council. If there's more outside, they're welcome to come in. We have a proclamation today regarding arthrogryposis. Whereas arthrogryposis is defined as multiple congenital joint contractures, which occurs when multiple joints are stuck in one position and have very little flexibility. And whereas arthrogryposis is caused by an unborn baby not moving properly during fetal development, causing the newborn to lack a normal range of motion in one or more joints. And whereas the different types of arthrogryposis include amyoplasia, a non-genetic type, which is due to the muscles failing to develop, and multiple pterygium Escobar syndrome, a genetic type, which occurs when the messages that impacts person's muscle movements are affected. And whereas arthrogryposis occurs 1 in 10,000 live births, and whereas joints that can be affected by AMC include the hands, feet, hips, shoulders, wrists, toes, jaw, and spine. And while any and all joints can be affected, it is possible for some joints to be unaffected, and no two people are affected exactly the same way. And whereas individuals born with arthrogryposis require stretching, various therapies, which include physical, occupational, speech, and others, and some surgical interventions that can help improve a person's independence level and quality of life. And whereas on June 30th, 2021 or 2022, families are across the world, they will be wearing the color blue to honor those affected by arthrogryposis. Whereas increased awareness and expanded knowledge of arthrogryposis and its impact on patients' quality of life will enable the community at large to better support people who struggle with the challenges of this disorder. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor of Mount Pearl, on behalf of my colleagues on Mount Pearl City Council, we hereby proclaim June 30th, 2022 to be Arthrogryposis Awareness Day. And in witness of that, I sign my name and date it today. Council, is there any discussion, any questions with regards to that particular item?
Your Worship,
Yes, please,
I would
Councillor
think
Locke.
that we will be lighting City Hall in blue for that day, as we did last year.
CAO?
I think it's on our list of events for which we will light.
I will double check, but I'm pretty sure it is there. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Planning, engineering, development. Before I start, I'd like to recognize the members of CUPE who are here today. Welcome, everybody. There are more seats inside if you'd like to come in and relax. Otherwise, all good. And I just want to acknowledge that you're here. The Planning, Engineering, Development Committee report. Speaking tonight first will be Councillor Fry.
Thank you, Your Worship. First on our agenda tonight is regarding the Two Guys training. And that is the change of use application for 756 to 774 Topsail Road, which is Mount Pearl Square. The city received an application to operate a motorcycle training school at this site. It has been reviewed by Planning, Engineering and Development Committee. It has been reviewed and the committee recommends that council ratifies decision to decline the permit request. So be it resolved that an application by Two Guys Training to operate a commercial school use at 756 to 774 Topsail Road to operate a motorcycle training school in the rear parking lot of the existing commercial building known as Mount Pearl Square be declined on the basis of the city being in receipt of noise complaints related to the business operations as per section 6.29 of the Mount Pearl Development Regulations of 2010. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Fry, excuse me, second by Councillor Rice. This resolution has already been acted upon, so we're just really basically endorsing it here today. Any questions, council? Would anybody else like to speak to it? Councillor Rice.
Yes, just a point of information, I guess, and clarification on this. So when this came forward, there was some discussion on locations of that training, I guess, the parking lot that they were using. And there's several parking lots around that area that were recommended, that possibly could be used instead of up by GoldenEye houses on the back of those properties. The biggest concern that I had with that is that it is not the, I guess, the operation is the time frame that we were talking about. So early in the morning and so late at night all weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, right? And the reason I brought it forward and made a comment on it is because my main concern is the residents up in that area, and I just want to, bring this forward and publicly say that, with the use of that parking lot, they're right behind those houses. It was my concern, but I certainly would support if they would have it in a different location. So I just want to bring that forward.
But hearing that, the permit was for a specific location, so therefore the request is in, we have to deal with what was requested. Fair enough? Yep, Councillor Antle.
Just a quick question. I noticed that parking lot now is closed off. So eventually, as they get busier, will that parking lot be back open again? And can it be used for another type of business, or is it just this type of business?
Director Antle.
Councillor Antle, it would depend on the type of business that was wished to be occupied there. So they had to make an application if it was outside of the use that's currently permitted and zoned.
So still a business can go there, and
Depending on the business and depending on the nature of the change of use potentially, it would come to council for consideration.
thank you.
Last call for any comments?
But it is a parking lot. It's meant for to park cars, not for to operate business though, correct?
That's its use, and depending on the commercial use permit that's been provided for that commercial facility, they could operate certain things in that facility. But right now it's designated as a parking lot.
And they did apply for a change in use
They
for
did.
that particular area, for that particular business, I believe, right?
They did.
Yeah, and that's why it's here at the table
That's correct.
today.
Yeah, and I mean, we always support business where applicable, but in this particular case, it was directly behind the backyards of residents. And motorcycle training from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays is a little bit invasive to those residents.
Further thoughts?
Just one more. So, but we have another, the truck stop, a food truck will be operating there Canada Day weekend. So that's an approved use. So will that be in the back or the front of that building? If I know, understand what Councillor Fry is saying, it's a
Wait, no.
parking lot.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'm just, we do need to get back to the original motion. So no, go ahead, but I'm
No.
just trying to.
No, I
think.
just wanted to make sure that there can be a business
Yeah.
operator.
We'll provide that additional information per the councillor's request. I'm just getting that information, but that's a different consideration of the use, and it's permitted within the mobile canteen regulations.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah. Looking around, nothing else. I'll call the question. Moved by Councillors Rice and Fry. All in favor? Those against? Motion carried. Thank you. Well done.
Okay, next on our agenda is regarding an easement for Newfoundland Power, and this is for the upgrade of three-phase power for a park shed. So just to give you some background, a service upgrade of the power supply to a three-phase power will be required as part of this project. And there's no cost to us to upgrade this, as it's covered by Newfoundland Power's basic investment equivalent to 85 meters of three-phase distribution line upgrade. So in your kit here, you can see the diagram as to where the easement will be in terms of the park shed. And the Planning, Engineering and Development Committee recommends approval of this easement and contribution agreement for Newfoundland Power. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Rice. One question for me. I know the deed or the easement deed has to be done and the authority for the mayor and or the CEO to sign comes from this minute. What's the contribution agreement?
Your worship, the contribution agreement it's like a capital contribution agreement we have with Newfoundland Power, wherein we're actually transferring an easement to their authority. So it's a $0 contribution agreement.
So it's a contribution agreement, but it's not.
It is a contribution agreement, just has $0 associated with
Not
it,
even $1.
not even $1.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. Councillor Locke.
Just a question for Director here. I know the easement is outlined in our kit here. Any adverse impacts to our parking or the area use within our yard there? Or is this just, are we still gonna be able to maintain the use that we have there with the power lines coming through?
Councillor Locke, there could be some impact if we put a permanent structure there, not for our parking.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll call the question. All in favor? Contraminded? Carried.
Next, we have our 2022 gas tax application, and this is revised to adjust the Topsail Road sinkhole. So it has been determined through the city's asset management plan and inspections that the following locations are to be included in the 2022 gas tax application for multiple streets asphalt renewal. And those are, the proposed locations are Topsail Road storm sewer repairs, Mount Carson Avenue, Richard Nolan Drive, Worrell Crescent, Talon Place, and Benson Place. So Planning, Engineering, and Development Committee recommends approval to apply for the 2022 gas tax funding for multiple streets asphalt renewal for the following locations: Topsail Road emergency storm sewer repairs, Mount Carson Avenue, Richard Nolan Drive, Worrell Crescent, Talon Place, and Benson Place. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Rice. I'm going to abstain. I live on Talon Place. I'm not sure I'm in any conflict of interest, but just to be on the safe side. So I won't be voting if the clerk would make note of that. Thank you very much. Any further questions or comments? I'll call the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
And I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Councillor Rice, for the remainder of our report this evening.
Thank you, Councillor Fry. Your worship, number 4 on the list this afternoon for Planning, Engineering, Development is building occupancy permit listing from June the 13th to June 24, 2022. The Planning and Engineering Development Committee recommends that the building permit issue for the period of June 13th to 24th, 2022, showing the total construction value of $286,500 be approved, and further that occupancy permit list be accepted as presented. When you look down at the residential permit here, we have a total of $4,615,250, and our commercial is $6,374,600. So I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Rice, seconded by Councillor Fry. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call that question as well. All in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carried.
So number 5 we have on our list is development permit listing from June the 24th, 2013 to the 24th, 2022. Also, we have our listing of 2 we have on of development permit for golf shots, interior renovations, and Best Kind Barbecue, open air assembly use, they say Davis Field. and I so move.
Moved by Counselor Rice, seconded by Counselor Fry for those two development permits. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried because I don't see anybody contrary. Thank you.
Thank you, Worship. Number 6 is our construction update. We're into a busy season for our infrastructure, public works and road works. ISEP is currently undergoing, so our crack sealing starting this week will be underway for approximately 2 weeks. Old Placentia Road pedestrian underpass repair to resume during the period of July through August. Traffic will be reduced to 1 lane in each direction during this period. Communications will be issued through the city website and on-site signage. So I recommend anybody that's traveling these routes, look for, I guess, and some displays in our city and also on our website in the city. Smallwood Drive, Commonwealth Avenue to Old Placentia Road, asphalt renewal to start within the next week and continue for approximately 6 weeks. Periodic lane closure and traffic interruptions in that area. Park Avenue asphalt repairs are on the way with approximately 1 to 2 weeks remaining, pending weather. Repair and asphalt replacement for Commonwealth Avenue and Park Avenue, Dunn's Corner. Bridges to the following with coordination to ensure that only 1 bridge being under repair at a time. So we won't be shutting 2 bridges down. One will be done at one time and then the other will be completed. While traffic disruption will occur periodically at these locations, it will be minimized at peak early morning traffic times, and the work will require approximately 2 weeks per location. And this is it for our report, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. I'm going to now turn Corporate Services, Public Works, Counselor Locke, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll take the first two. The first one here are the invoices for council approval. And you can see we have a total of 12 there, and the grand total is $3,236,148.86. And just to highlight some of the ones that are there, the first two you can see are a little over $181,000 for our road salt. 3 and 4 are the tipping fees for April and February. The big one there is number 5, $2,707,076.52. That's for our regional services. And number 10 there, again, our Transportation Commission, City of St. John's for March. For our transit services came in at $107,457.73. So our committee is recommending that we approve, again, the grand total of $3,236,148.86, and I so move.
It is moved by Counselor Locke, seconded by Deputy Mayor Kiley. Questions, Council? Counselor Antle, please.
Just a quick one there, Councillor Locke. Number 5, the 2,700,000 for regional fire. Is that right? Is that over last year, or is that comparable, or why is it 2,700,000?
6 months.
That's
It's
for
6 months.
That's for
right.
6 months, yeah.
All right, thank you.
So that's from January to June. I can't speak to, I would suggest it's on par, but I can't speak to the numbers. But it's pretty close.
Yes, that's on par.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Oh, sorry. Did you, Counselor Rice? Yeah.
No, just one comment on our regional services, and it goes from our transportation to our Robin Hood Bay tipping fees and our regional fire services. I mean, we well pay our share of services within the city of Mount Pearl. And it shows in our 6-month assessment of the cost of what it's paying per 6 months, or if it's 1 month. Because usually on the monthly fee, you're paying out for, transportation. I know it was 99,000. Now I see St. John's Transportation Commission, March 2022, 107,000. So we certainly pay our fee when it comes to our services here in Mount Pearl. And, so it's certainly a big part of our budget. And just wanted to add that, there's probably a reflection, I guess, going forward on cost increases as well, because I know the cost of regional fire services and our tipping fees and stuff like that, and the transportations, there's certainly indications that that's going to be increasing over the next couple of years. So just wanted to put that in there, that comment in there. Right?
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
welcome.
All in favor?
All right.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Just one thing on the tipping fees there, Mayor, before I go forth. What we've been doing in our household is taking our grass clippings out to our cabin and sort of composting them out there.
Hmm.
And one of my friends, I was up to their house the weekend and they had 5 or 6 bags out because they had mowed their neighbor's lawn. So I took them out as well. And one thing that struck me as I was offloading them at the cabin was the absolute weight in grass clippings.
Hmm.
And I couldn't help but go $70 a ton for the Robin Hood Bay Waste Management Facility. So I'm hopeful and going to explore options that one day we can get this stuff out of our stream, our garbage stream, and maybe have a regional composting facility, or maybe we can look at something that we may be able to do here within our city. But there's certainly like I said, the 6 or 8 bags that I had in tow, it was remarkable just how heavy the grass clippings were. So times that by 10,000 properties in our city, we're putting a lot of organic material into the landfill and paying a lot of money for that. But that's for a future discussion.
Yeah, I believe Eastern Waste is the authority charged with organics and recycling here within the region. And of course, Robin Hood Bay would be part of the processing equation. That's run by the city of St. John's. And I know it's been looked at with municipal fairs, and it seems to have died on the vine, so to speak, about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think cost is a big impediment, but yeah, the goal ultimately is to prolong the life of Robin Hood Bay at the end of the day.
Indeed.
Yep.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item for me is the payment register and purchase card report. For the information of council and our public, the payment register is for June 7th to June 21st of 2022, and a total $1,639,181.99. And the purchase card report for April 26th to May 25th, 2022, total $480,859.83. And they're all outlined there. It's for information purposes. And if there's any questions, we'll certainly entertain.
Questions? Hearing none, I'll keep the meeting rolling. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, and that's it for my part of our report. I'll now turn it over to Deputy Mayor Colley. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Locke, and your worship. So that leaves number 3 for myself, and it's in relation to TP 2022-27 after hours answering service. So the Corporate Services and Public Works Committee recommends that a contract for after hours answering services, TP 22-027, be awarded to the lowest qualified bidder. That's the Call Center Inc. Telelink, and for the bid amount of $21,390, and that includes HST. That'll be per year, which will be within the operating local budget for this year and for the anticipating budgets. And just as information on this, well, what do we do after hours? That's usually Monday through Thursday, 4 to 8 a.m., weekends, Friday, 4 to Monday, 8 a.m., stat holidays, and occasionally during weekends at the request of the city. So if there's a major thing that was hit and we need to be accessible, and this is a key important way that our residents and those within the city can contact us at any point. So I so move.
Seconded.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Locke. Any questions? All in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Great. And that leaves us with our last report item for our committee. It was providing a following public works status update. So absolutely it's been another busy time and another busy items to report, especially right in the middle of warmer weather and gearing up our city for that. So certainly regarding the fleet, the maintenance is ongoing, repairs are being done, motor vehicle inspections are happening at this point. With regards to the roads, we've got bulk garbage completed for 2022, except for some scheduled appointments, which is exceptional. We have household garbage and recycling that's ongoing. There's lawn repairs underway, so still working out what kind of work and outcomes we've seen from a mild but sometimes long out winter and spring. Asphalt repairs are ongoing. There's also curb and gutter repairs and street sweeper operational work. Regarding our parks, we've got sport field maintenance ongoing, graffiti removal ongoing, and that seems to be a major issue right now within the city, and we're identifying it where we can. We know that when it comes to graffiti, it's not only just sometimes something not to look at, but messaging and those sort of items can be very difficult. So kudos to those of how very quickly and appropriate that's being dealt with, and for the residents that reach out, who identify that. Hanging baskets and planters will be going out in late June, so we should be seeing those as well. And litter cleanup is ongoing, parks and open spaces being maintained, landscape bed maintenance that are underway. Regarding UTM, the maintenance and repairs are ongoing. There's leak detection ongoing. And again, we've already seen such a benefit to the system with regards to the amount of water we are saving over the years. And of course, catch basin storm sewing jetting continues. So much work and certainly a significant amount of work that's being done through our public works. And it's been essential with regards to getting us ready and up and running and within the city. So that's my 2 items. And so that would conclude unless there's any questions to our committee.
All good. Thank you very much. Good report, folks. Now we'll move to Recreation and Community Safety. Councillor Ansell, please.
Your worship, I'll do the first 2 and I'll pass on to Councillor Lane. Number 1 is regarding the Abernethy House Communications Museum, and this has to do with our second installment for their operating grant. And the committee recommends approval to release the second installment of the Abernethy House Community Museum operating subsidy in the amount of $45,000 as per the MOU between the city and the museum. And this is just a normal MOU that we do every 6 months. And you can certainly take a look at the Facebook page. The Abernethy House has certainly been busy in the past little while. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Ansell, seconded by Councillor Lane. Any questions, comments? Deputy Mayor.
Just to Councillor Ansell's remarks, just Abernethy House has been an incredible amount of work happening. And certainly, yes, this is one of our ongoing operational grants, but just wanted to highlight some of the key things that's been happening and just certainly transforming. They've been identified actually a few times on social media this week as a place to connect with, come home here and for something for to visit. And I think that has a lot to do with the work and efforts of both the board and the staff there. And I also wanted to identify with regards to most recently an exhibit, which is, a very different and innovative idea, which was their punk rock installment. And it's still ongoing up there. I absolutely recommend anyone to take a look at it. It's a part of our culture that sometimes, we are may be different for us or we didn't realize and know the story that there was a lot of history and good things that had developed from the city. And one of them is punk rock. So I welcome anyone to check that out. And I'm sure there's more to talk about of the upcoming summer work that Admiralty House is and the collaborations they've been doing across businesses and partnerships. So I just wanted to acknowledge some good stuff happening at our museum this summer and ongoing.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for the comments. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Those opposed? And that motion's carried. Thank you.
And number 2 has regards to our bus services for our summer recreation program for 2022. The bus service program tender closes at 2:30 p.m. on June the 9th. And there were 4 bids received and reviewed. The committee recommends approval to award the bus service program to the lowest bidder, Executive Taxi Services, for a total cost of $39,614.05 HST included, which is covered within the Recreation and Community Safety budget. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Ansell and again seconded by Councillor Lane. Thoughts, questions? Now's your chance. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And I'll pass on to Councillor Lane.
Thank you very much. And next we have the candidate celebrations, which will be happening July 1st, this Friday. So I think it's very exciting to be able to have a celebration this year for Canada Day, and it's going to be a great time. So the city will provide a family-friendly celebration of Canada's birthday on July 1st from 1 to 3 p.m. at St. David's Park. There will be multicultural food, live entertainment by the Fables, bouncy castles, cupcakes, and more. Don't forget to wear your red and white. Let's celebrate our diverse country. Rainy day location is at the Glacier Arena, and the celebrations are free to attend. No registration required. So I certainly encourage residents to come and check it out and join in on our celebration.
No motion required for that.
Okay. And the last thing on our agenda here today is the 2022 Battle of Beaumont Hamel wreath laying ceremony, which is also happening on July 1st. The Royal Canadian Legion Branch 36's Beaumont Hamel Remembrance Ceremony will take place at 10:30 a.m. at the War Memorial at St. David's Park. There will not be a parade. However, there will be a march on by the Royal Newfoundland Regiment with the placing of the colors followed by the wreath laying ceremony. The ceremony will be streamed live on the city's Facebook page. Please log into the city's Facebook to view the ceremony and to pay tribute. And that finishes our report here today.
Well done. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to turn now to the roundtable. Councillor Fry is the first today off the mark.
Thank you, Your Worship. The first thing I want to talk about tonight is the upcoming 2025 Summer Games. And Councillor Rice and I attended the Canada Games Vision session last week, and it's such an exciting opportunity to welcome people to our province. You know, with when St. John's and Mount Pearl and Paradise and CBS are all working together to host the best ever Summer Games in 2025. So it was a great session, and I think we have a lot to be excited about, and it's something that we look forward to in welcoming people to our province in 2025. I'd also like to send a very big congratulations to one of our own, Councillor Locke, on his retirement. And I had the pleasure of speaking with one of his students in particular, who told me that the reason why he is going to be a teacher is because of Mr. Locke. And at that point I said to him, well, you know what, if you can have an impact on just one other person like he had on you, then you'll have a successful career. So congratulations, Councillor Locke.
It doesn't look any different though, does it, today?
Not yet. Wait till September.
Lots of beautiful stories. Also, I want to thank our staff for our first of the summer movie in the park. It was The Bad Guys, and apparently it was pretty funny, according to Councillor Rice. No, it was a good movie. I laughed at Councillor Rice laughing at it, so I'm just teasing him on that. And finally, for me, I just want to remind people to keep their car doors locked. As the deputy mayor said earlier, you know, it's the summertime and there seems to be a lot of vandalism, and not just in Mount Pearl, but everywhere there are some car break-ins and people rummaging through cars. So just be diligent and keep an eye out, keep your doors locked, keep an eye out for each other, and work together to keep our city as safe as possible. And that's it for me, Your Worship.
Well
Thank you.
said. Thank you much. Very good messaging coming into the summertime. Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a few here. Deputy Mayor spoke of Admiralty House a little earlier on, and I had the pleasure of taking, I and a fellow teacher, Sherry Carroll, took our classes over to Admiralty House a couple of Fridays ago. And the punk rock exhibit is, I mean, it is worth seeing. They have, you know, clothing there and posters up and record covers, and it is just so, well, as always, it is just so well done over there. And they had a stage set up with musical instruments, and as coincidence had it, as I was going in, there was another gentleman and his wife going in to look at the exhibit. Well, it turns out I taught this gentleman about 23 years ago. So I went over and said, Dave, how are you doing? So he looked at me, we had a little chat, and he said, I had to come see this because I was part of the punk scene. I said, I remember you being a part of the punk scene when you were in my class and in school. So I asked him, I coaxed him, I said, any chance you can get up and, you know, play a little bit of guitar? And he was a little bit shy. He said, I haven't played in 15 years. I said, it's like riding a bike. Well, he got up on the electric guitar and cranked up the amp, and man, did he make that sing. And all the kids, bass? No, not the bass.
Lead.
Yeah. And, but it was just wonderful because the opportunity is there for people to go in and see it. And also, you know, to play the instruments. And afterwards, staff reached out to us and they're willing to coordinate. They offered, you know, sessions to the students that may want to go there and try to play some music. And it was just a great opportunity. That was the punk exhibit, but we also did a little tour of the museum as well. And afterwards, and going back on the bus, several of the students commented on the enthusiasm of the staff there and how very knowledgeable they were and very accommodating. So it was a worthwhile field trip, and we're hoping now to make some connections in the fall, albeit I won't be there, but with the Newfoundland Studies course curriculum, there's no reason why we can't have more schools going over to. And of course, staff there were just too eager to help out. So I just wanted to point it out there because it is a great little destination and it is so well done. And you won't be disappointed if you go over and have a look at the punk exhibit.
There's
Um,
always a blend of old and new, hey? It
Yeah.
captures the history of the area. When you go back into British naval history, as much a part of Newfoundland and Labrador as anything, but it captures some of the stuff in more recent times too. And I think any good museum at the end of the day, I think you would agree, has got to change over its material, its look, so that when you do go back there the fall, whether it's a teacher or just as a resident, you see something new and fresh. And I think that's where Admiralty House is trying to go.
Yep, I agree. And it's dynamic and it's fresh. So, just because you go there 1 month, within a month or two, there's, like I said, there's something. And I've been over there multiple times, but with Tim, who gave the tour for us, I mean, he highlighted certain features and gave a background that you wouldn't get on your own. So he gave some insight, and so again, it's a wonderful place. And I know, as Deputy Mayor said, they do have some activities here. One is they're going to do an archaeological dig there this summer. So I'm looking forward to that as well, just to see if they can find some artifacts on the field. So again, not to belabor it, but I encourage people to go out and see that. We know that school is out for the summer, for some of us forever, but just a reminder that a lot of young kiddies now are out on their scooters and their bicycles, especially down at Team Guzio. We have the 30-kilometer zone put up there for a reason. And these kids are so anxious to get down and play that they're not always looking for the traffic. So just a little friendly reminder, certainly on all our streets, but around our play areas, that we do have the 30-kilometer zone and the flashing speed signs for a purpose, because we want our kiddies to stay safe. And one last thing for me, I just wanted to throw out a huge congratulations for the Mount Pro Sport Alliance Hall of Fame and Awards that were held on the 20th of June. It was just a nice event. It was nice to see all the members of the Hall of Fame beforehand. We had a little reception beforehand, and then I won't get into all the inductees and the awards, but it was a nice night. It's always nice to recognize, and there was some history there. I know one of the hockey teams there was from 1990, so to see the memories, it was very nice, a wonderful event. So I just wanted to congratulate all involved with that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. And just to your point, Councillor Locke, I don't think you'll ever be out of school forever. I think it's just expanded to all areas of your life. Your school, your classroom has. I can attest to that here in this chamber. So I just have a few items here. Wanted to acknowledge an important day that had passed on June 21st, which was National Indigenous Peoples Day. And this is a day for all Canadians to recognize and celebrate a unique heritage, diverse cultures, and outstanding contributions from our Indigenous peoples. And I've certainly, we're looking at the Canadian Constitution that recognizes these groups as Indigenous peoples, but also known as Indigenous peoples. Aboriginal people or Indigenous peoples. And, although many of these groups share many similarities, they each have their own distinct heritage, language, cultural practices, and spiritual beliefs. And if you had an opportunity to attend or observe everything from CBC Radio 1 that day, basically had Indigenous artists playing throughout the day. First Light, which is our local Native Friendship Center, had an incredible array of events and cultural events for the public to take in, and just wanted to be so very thankful. There was so much amount of celebration of the heritage, language, and cultural practices and spiritual beliefs of our Indigenous peoples. And of course, a lot of this is in cooperation with our organizations and governments to really, and I can't think of a better day as on the summer solstice to identify this. So just want to acknowledge that date. Also within our just our own calendars as well, and something to get people out and going, and it's already happening. And what I love about it, it's outdoors and it's free. Our summer canoe and kayak program is back, and that's available at Powers Pond, and rentals are from July 11th to August 26th. And they're available on first come, first serve basis. And you can check out our website for more information on the calendar of events there. And I know we're all talking about our Canada Day celebrations. I just want to remind people about the fireworks reminder. As somebody who owns many pets, that we, and knowing people in our families that have definitely different impacts and difficult impacts to fireworks. Remember, they're permitted only from dusk until 11 p.m. And it's just a really important reminder there, so that everyone can celebrate healthily and happily, and in a way that is accessible to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well said. Councillor Angel, please.
I'll be quick to your worship. Just a couple of things. I'll be remiss if I didn't pass on my congratulations to Councillor Locke. If you looked at his his Facebook page, I think he had something like 500 and some odd congratulations. But at home, my son-in-law and daughter-in-law both talked so well about Jim, you know, and Jim, you can see it in council life. You teach us something every day. So you certainly impact a lot of people's lives.
In a very positive way.
Yes.
Mhm.
On July the 9th, we have a young fellow here in Mount Pearl, Alex Taylor. And Alex has been doing so many good things in the past few years. But last year, he did a little fundraiser in his front garden for food banks. And he did it on his own. He set it all up. So this year, through the help of the city, he's going to use St. David's Field on July the 9th from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And he's organized all this himself, him and some of his school friends. They got a band together and they got some invited guests. And the only admission they're going to have is for the food bank. And certainly well done to see you. Alexander's only 13 or 14 years old. And that age group to get out and know that people are hungry and this is how they're going to help. So it's well done, and it's great for us to help out there. As Councillor Locke just said, the kids are out and this kind of stuff. And we all spend a lot of times on the trails. And one thing I'd like to stress is, I spend a lot of times on the trails, is that we have to be respectful. We in Mount Pearl have a shared trail system. There's bikers, there's walkers, there's joggers and everything. And something we have to remember is be respectful and always keep to the right. I see the signs on the trails now, keep to the right, keep to the right. And if we can do that and remain respectful on others, I have an e-bike now. And one of the things I noticed, these e-bikes can go pretty fast. We got to keep these bikes down to 20. I think our trail speed limit on our trails are 20 kilometers. We had to be very mindful that there's our seniors walking these trails. And 20 kilometers might seem like, but I noticed a sign up in Paradise or Mangles River the other day. The Newfie Bullet traveled our train tracks at 25 kilometers. Just think about that. That's what the Newfie, that was the speed limit. So, at 20 kilometers, that's pretty good. And we should try to remain respectful on our trails. The last thing for me is that the day I went to a funeral for young Paul Hibbs. Paul lived up on Bad Place. And you might say him all the time walking on trails. He was a huge volunteer with Rogers. And Rogers had a nice tribute there, but Paul wasn't sick for a long time, but he just passed away. And condolences to his mother, Shirley, and his father, Leslie. Thank you very much.
I've been turning my mic off to get rid of feedback. Councillor Rice, please.
Thank you, Worship. So I'll try to keep it short and brief. And I know Chelsea wants to get some voice in over there as well. So just to add to what the Deputy Mayor said about our fireworks, on our city site, there's a detailed list of fireworks safety tips. So you can go in on that site and you can click on that site and it'll tell you actually how to install the fireworks and put them off and everything and so forth to go along with it. And very important, I know we're going to have a bit of difficulty during Canada Day because we always do. People putting off fireworks late and stuff like that, but we're trying to get our residents to abide by the rules and be respectful, especially pets and stuff like that. I also want to say a big congrats to Councillor Locke. My 3 girls had the privilege of going to Mount Pearl Senior High, and Mr. Jim Locke taught 3 of my girls, and the 3 of them speak really highly of him. And I've made several comments about how important it is to have good teachers in the system, and teachers like Councillor Locke, because it certainly has a big impact on on the students that he taught in high school. So big congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir.
The second congratulations I want to say is to Mr. Corey Harvey. Congratulations, Corey, on your the new position with IPW Superintendent. I wish you all the best in your job, and we're all around here to help you. And you're around to help us as well. So we work as a team. I'm looking forward to working with you. I also want to comment on the trail system. I've had a conversation about a lot of people in Mount Pearl, especially where I'm around the back of the trail over there. And I have a lot of my neighbors in that area that use that trail every single day, especially even in the wintertime when they snowshoe or ski or whatever. And the comment always comes back about being respectful on that trail. And the comment came back about bicycles should have a bell on them, right? So they can actually, or a horn or something that can, even something that can remind the people to, but basically try to stay to the right when you're walking. And just be respectful of everybody using that trail because it is a shared system.
Yeah, I think to your point, I think every bike that enters the trailway should have a bell. And
Definitely.
I think that solves a lot of the risk,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. I walked the trail today and a couple of bikes went by, gave the ding-a-ling, especially from behind. You just put up your hand to acknowledge. It's really,
And they got
it's about safety and courtesy, isn't it?
yeah, they got the electronic ones now. You don't even have to ring them anymore. Just push on the button, right?
I think when you get a chance one of these days, I think Director Rental will test. I bought one of these electronic bells on eBay. I'm telling you, I think most people tell me to turn it off. It's so loud, but you certainly do hear it. It's like it's the old British police siren. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But people do hear it in a hurry, I think.
Well, sorry, Councillor Rice. I know Director Collins can elaborate, but we've given out bells in the past, and I think maybe we need a day or two where we ask our park patrol to position themselves. And Councillor Antle, if anybody would know the time of day to do that, it would be you. And give out bells to people and put them on their
Yeah.
bikes. It really goes a long ways. But it's an old fashioned bell that I won't go getting into my age. I'm retired like Councillor Locke is. But anyway, those bells go back to when I was a child and they still work. They're effective. And I'd love to see that happen, Director.
Mayor, I had one Mount Pearl. I have a City Mount Pearl bell that we gave out probably 14 years ago now,
There you
12
go.
years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a gentle, I just go bring, 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 bring. If I'm 100 feet away, and it's not, it doesn't frighten you. But to Mayor's point, they just acknowledge and they keep to the right. So
Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah.
wonderful idea if we can somehow, distribute those along the trails as well.
As a point of consideration, I just think of the great initiative we did with our pantries as possible distribution sites. Some of the bells, I'm not sure, but as a thought I just had is, if we already have multiple places and someone who can access it, that could be in tandem. I'm sure there's more to look at with regards to the good, bad, and challenging with that, but just food for thought.
Well, I think as we speak, we've begun to throw it at the committee. So, hopefully we'll meet enough now. So that would be the Director Collins committee. But I think there's an appetite around council's table to cut through the red tape and do it sooner rather than later, taking into account all the voices you've heard here this evening, Director. Thank you. Consider it done.
So myself and Councillor Fry had the privilege of meeting 6 of our summer patrol staff up in the park movie the other night. So we had a good conversation with them probably for about 15, 20 minutes. And, so it's nice to see them there. But I'm looking forward to seeing them getting out on the trailways and our areas, and a lot of our parks and stuff and our playgrounds and stuff. So it'd be nice to, and especially report back then if any mischievous stuff is on the go. And also, I just want to make my one last note for me. I've a big congratulations to the U15, U16 soccer team that went to Atlantics the weekend. And we had several players from Mount Pearl. It's certainly a testament of the phenomenal program we have here in Mount Pearl. They went through and they beat all the teams and they played phenomenal. So I just want to say a big congrats. That's it for me, Your Worship.
Thank you much. Councillor Lane.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I certainly couldn't let this roundtable go without sending my congratulations to Councillor Locke. I had the pleasure of being taught by him. He was the one who inspired me to be a teacher, and he actually wrote my recommendation letter for the education faculty.
Nice.
if you know him as a teacher, then you know he truly gives his all to his students. And I know he's going to be missed. And I really feel bad for the students that don't get the experience of being taught by J-Lo, because there's no one better. And if I'm 1/8 the teacher that he was, then I'll be doing very well. So congratulations. I just have a couple of other things as well. The Mount Pearl Public Library is doing lots of programming this summer for our youth. And one thing that they have posted now is Thursdays at 1:30 for ages 12 and up. TikTok is this huge, I guess, social media medium now that our generation enjoy. So the public library is taking inspiration for that. And they're going to be doing TikTok inspired crafts. So I think that that's awesome. I think that the youth will really enjoy that here in the community. So that's great. So that's Thursdays at 1:30. Our summer canoe and kayak program is back for 2022. So you can float around Paris Pond with a free rental from July 11th to August 26th. And that's always greatly enjoyed by our residents. And I am personally looking forward to getting out in a canoe as well. So that should be lots of fun. And our summit pools are now open. So all programming, including swimming lessons, will proceed as scheduled in both the main pool and the leisure pool. And that's it for me. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Fry, did you have a question about fireworks? I may have missed that the first time.
I did. Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to ask residents to be considerate this Canada Day. Further to Deputy Mayor's point, there are a lot of animals and people, who get a lot of discomfort and distress from the unexpected burst of fireworks. But there's something else too that I just wanted to throw out. I wonder if we can perhaps take it back for further discussion, and that is regulation around where fireworks can be set off. Because if I do recall on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, that those fireworks, there was some, what do you call it? The debris from fireworks in people's lawns where they were set off in people's backyards. And I know I was just doing some Google searches a little while ago, and the City of Toronto have regulations around where fireworks can be set off. And I would like if we could perhaps take that back and have a look at that from a safety perspective. I think that's something on top of the enforcement, which poses challenges, but to keep them safe for everybody. And I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you.
I thought you were going to say, and I so move. But I do know Corner Brook announced new regulations, which are more in step with what many of the larger municipalities in the province have done. But given their unique landscape, they've said they don't want them near hospitals, and they had a bunch of other considerations as well regarding location. So, that would be the filter I think you're asking to be utilized here from a safety perspective too, of course.
Yeah, there was some, in my Google search, I noticed, there was some, not here, but fireworks had caused like a roof to be set on fire because it landed on somebody's roof, and those types of things. I think those are all important considerations. I mean, fireworks are fun, and they're a lot of fun to have, and they're celebratory, absolutely. But we need to make sure that they're done in a very safe manner, and that is fair to other residents. Thank
Thank you very much. I guess it's my turn now. I've served on council for 13 years. I've enjoyed every moment of it. And part of that enjoyment is working with a team player. You're all good team players here, but I've had the pleasure of working with Jim Locke for 13 years. And I have not had the pleasure of teaching with Jim Locke. My kids did go to Mount Pearl Senior High. They know him by reputation. They did French immersion, so it was their loss. But having said that, I know, Jim, who you are here at this table. And I know who you are at the other tables that you work in, that you volunteer in. And sincerely, I want to wish you, as a friend, the best in retirement. I know the word will not mean I'm slowing down or shutting down. It's, I can't quote you, but I'm sure it's a very new beginning. So Mount Pearl Senior High had a great teacher. It's been a big loss for them. Maybe it'll be our gain at the end of the day, but it certainly will be our community's game. So I just want to wish you, from our family to yours, congratulations. You're very welcome. Welcome Janice Mullins, who's stepping in for Director Pittman here today. I'd also like to acknowledge Corey Harvey. Congratulations, Corey, on your new job as Superintendent of Public Works. And I talked to Corey on Friday, I think it was, or Thursday, and I called him to congratulate him, and he made the mistake of saying he might be working the weekend. And sure enough, we had an issue with some paving up on Michener Avenue. Who else would you call but the person who held the safety position? Corey was our safety officer here at the City of Mount Pearl for the past 10 years or so, but he has 20 years of management experience. He's a great leader. And I know working with the new director, Director Dollamont, you've got past experience working with all of the staff here at the City of Mount Pearl from a safety perspective. And I know Director Antle, who once, very short time ago, was the director in the Public Works area. He knows you very well, and you come highly recommended. And I must say the CAO got it right. And I really want to congratulate you on behalf of everybody in this room. We want to wish you the best luck in the world. I don't think you're going to need it. I think you're very well adept at the job that you're taking responsibility for. And nothing is routine here sometimes at the City of Mount Pearl. So congratulations on behalf of council and the best of luck. And geez, he's only on the job less than a week and he's already at a council meeting. So that's all good news. So Corey, good to see you. And yes, all the best. I'm going to finalize this meeting, and it's too bad, actually. We had several people here from CUPE earlier on tonight. I want to talk about collective bargaining just for a second. I would love to have said welcome to Sherry Hillier from CUPE. She's with the CUPE executive, as well as Ken Turner, who's the president of CUPE 2099. And I know why the staff are here, because we're still really, our collective agreement is technically up, I guess you could say, this coming Sunday at midnight. And there's a possibility that there may be strike action or some disruption in the services that we provide to our residents. But I want to reassure the residents of Mount Pearl that we've been making our contingency plans. We've had several meetings under the leadership of our CAO, Dana Spurl, and all the directors, all the people in this room, and our HR staff have had input into that. We really don't want to go that way. We want to see bargaining continue, reach a fair and reasonable agreement with our workers. We've made some progress to date, and I'd like to see the two parties continue to get together. That's the only way they're going to get an agreement. However, it would be irresponsible, I think, on the part of this council not to at least advise the public that they may start to see things. For example, down at the sports field, some of the nets maybe be pulling back as a contingency plan. And right now, I'm not prepared to talk about negotiations. That needs to be done privately, not publicly. But we want to make sure that we stay at the table or get back to the table before any further actions taken. So I just want to wish both parties, whether it's CUPE or our senior management team negotiating on our behalf, that we are striving to work and get a deal. Getting that deal means we have to have face-to-face meetings. So I just wanted to throw that on the floor. I know our workers were here tonight basically to take in our council meeting. I believe they have a little bit of a public meeting taking place out in front of City Hall. And that's their right to do so. And I want to just say to everybody here in this room, as well as to CUPE, it was a very respectful interaction here tonight. And we'd like to keep it that way going forward. So I think I'm going to end the meeting on that note. And I want to just say, keep up the hard work, everybody. We continue to work on behalf of our residents and our businesses. That's what council is primarily focused on. We want to be fair to everybody involved. So on the motion of Councillor Antle and Councillor Rice,